Good day, Ruskin Jewers. Hope you're alright, because it's time for the 48-hour analysis. Basically, in this video, I'm going to look at all the skins of the current Rust store, make comparisons to previous Rust store skins, to get a good idea in regards to, well, how much these skins are likely to sell by next Thursday, and in knowing that, we'll then question, are these skins still holding up to being perfectly fine investments, or are there any potential problems that you need to be aware of? So sit back and relax, I'm going to start yapping. Now, before we proceed, of course, mention the first 24 hours of sales, we have to talk about the first, 10 minutes. What do you mean? Well, when this Rust store initially rotated in, and let me point out to you, it was quite late, but still, it's there. Basically, when this Rust store first rotated in, they accidentally accepted the training SKS. Now, if you aren't fully well aware of what's going on as of recent, it appears, it's set now that the SKS is supposed to be the brand new skinnable for February 2026, but they've accidentally accepted an SKS skin in January. Now, before you complain about that, it wouldn't work. They have to have an update to make it so that the skin would even work on the SKS, if that makes sense to you, all right? It is set, though, for February 4 swipe. After that mistake, they said, all right, it's definitely going to happen for February 4 swipe, February 5, 2026, be prepared for that. But they swapped in the HMLMG. Now, it wasn't just that, though. They also had a little mistake with the pricing for the Black Ops Metal face mask. They set it at 25 cents. Obviously now it says $1.49, but for about 10 or so minutes it was selling for 25 cents. And we're on stream, we're looking at it and we're like, oh, we've never seen anything that cheap before in a Rust store. Like, seriously, I've never seen anything that cheap before. So they must have screwed up the pricing, I don't know. But we jumped in, we bought a whole bunch of them. I personally bought 200 because at the end of the day, is it actually going to be that bad? Well, within those 10 minutes, someone did spend a lot and bought about 10,000 of them. What? We've got quite a lot to discuss. Yes, we do. So there's been some problems, but maybe it isn't at all bad. So let's now first talk about the first 24 hours of sales. So as you can see, quite a lot of sales this week, by the way. The top 4 skins, all above 10,000 subscribers, but the metal face mask, you might want to add on maybe an extra 10 to 15,000 sales. We are aware of more. But the Lost Soul Garage Door, technically the highest subscriber count, I guess you could say. Basically, almost 13,000 subscribers, looking pretty sweet, but followed by the Pirate Tactical Gloves. Have you been keeping track of the Pirate collection recently? It's doing pretty good, and with these appearing, well, the very first thing I said when I first looked at them was, are they going to sell as much as the previous pirate skins? Which I highly doubt is going to happen. So we'll talk more about that in a bit, don't you worry. But yes, they are looking pretty sweet. Black Ops Tier 3, there is quite a lot to discuss. But if you've seen my predictions video and the special short video I put out today, maybe it's not going to be too bad. So again, we'll explain things. Now, Deep Ruby Furnace is also selling quite a lot as well. I hope you enjoyed the short video I put out for that. To my surprise, it's the 6th best-selling skin this week. We have a transparent aim sight MP5 right here. It is priced at $4, so okay, fair enough, but that is like a side grade, a counterpart to the Heatseeker MP5, and it's the 6th best-selling skin. What? Well, that's what's happening. So, okay, well, that's quite surprising. But what was also surprising to see was another black backpack literally being accepted after last week's black gold backpack. Quick, showcase here. They had 5,800 subscribers last week at $2.49. This has more subscribers at a higher price. I guess more people genuinely like the Black Diamond collection. Sorry about that. But also, to my surprise, Ultramarine Bed. Seriously, not even selling that much. Only 5,000 subscribers. I think we have a very nice thing to compare to figure out that actually might work out very nicely. And then the 3 remaining weapons in the Rust rotation and in my predictions video, I kind of said I don't really expect much with them. To my surprise, I guess, they have sold, really not that much. So, not surprising, I guess you'd say. Fair enough. So overall, things are looking pretty interesting. But of course, I'm sure you're fully well aware, the possibility for collection continuations is not going to happen with the next Rust store. Because this current weekend right now, lots of Valentine skins are being submitted. I've also just made a bunch of videos and whatnot. So if you've been keeping on Twitter, you've probably seen them already. Anyway, cool. So yeah, we are fully well aware that there are no continuations to look forward to next week, unless they might pick out some random things from the past. You know, Black Ops has a bunch of skins like that, Pirate Collection has some things like that, and Deep Ruby, so we'll see. Anyway, with that all said and done, let's now go ahead and take a look at things after about 48 hours, a little bit later. But as you can see, if I could just quickly refresh, so right now it says 18,383, 17,241, refresh. Oh, there you go, there's a little bit more. So, all right, cool. So, yeah. When you look at the Black Ops Metal Face Mask, you might think, that's not that many subscribers. Then you go over to here and it's the top seller because it has over 30,000 sales. So just to remind you, as you can see, SMM does keep track of certain websites. Keeps track of certain people on this site. That's what I should have said, sorry. As you can see, I'm right there. I thought 200 was fine. Someone goes and buys 5,000. I've already said, I've already complained about this. I'm past it now, but yes. There's a lot of these that have been bought. And I did say this in the predictions video. If you're genuinely looking at that, wanting to make a nice investment, just wait until the rust rotates. Look on the Steam market afterwards. I guarantee you it will not be sitting there at $1.49 on the Steam market. Or maybe it will eventually. Why? Well, we'll explain in a bit. So yeah, all right. But yeah, the Lost Soul Garage Door. Almost 20,000 subscribers. It's getting there. It's a very nice looking skin. Algorithm made an awesome looking design. But is he actually going to try and turn this into a collection? Because I had this discussion in the predictions video, in the rust rotation video. Are we going to still see space theme skins being produced? Because, well, this weekend it is expected to be Valentine skins. Next week is supposed to be Lunar New Year skins, I believe. The year of the horse. So lots of horse-related skins to be expected. And, well, the first rust door for February 2026 will be the naval update skins. Do you remember all the ones that are submitted back in November? Well, they're going to be accepted. They're going to be accepted for February Force Wipe, considering the naval update. But then after that, Valentine's and Lunar New Year. So we're probably not going to see any sequels for quite some time. And we're probably not going to see any space theme skins for quite some time, or potentially never again. Which might be a bit of a concern. Right then, so should we just go through all the skins now? Try and figure out how much each of them are likely to sell by next week. So let's go to Rust Help. Let's talk about these first two skins here. So I've already kind of talked about the Lost Soul Garage Door and talked about the possibility of, well, will we even see any more space theme skins and whatnot? But with the first 24 hours of sales, in terms of subscriber count, both of these did the best. Now, very close to each other. But what's the best thing to compare to? Well, I thought, you know what, if we could just go back a fair bit, perhaps we could compare to the Space Helmet Door. So, let's go ahead and do just that. So, let's go all the way over to here, and what do we see? Over 30,000 subscribers. Now, if I can recall quite a bit further back, I do believe I said 25 to 30,000 for the Armored Door. That's me roughly remembering. But considering the interest with what I'm seeing here, and also I do believe a lot of people are going to jump onto that at the very last second. Specifically, I'm talking about the tactical gloves there. For these two, I think I'm going to say 28 to 33,000 subscribers. I do believe Pirate Tactical Gloves will surpass these eventually, alright? So, with around 30,000 subscribers, I'm not surprised with the design of that. It looks cool, but I am concerned. How many garage doors are we going to see in 2026? We'll see. I should point out, between February 5 to 15th, we're going to have Twitch drops. I'm not sure if we're going to see a garage door, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see a garage door. 4 rust doors so far this year, 4 garage doors accepted. It really wouldn't surprise me if we end up with 40 in 2026 and still managing to get more accepted compared to the previous year. 39 was ridiculous. But at the current rate we're going, it probably wouldn't surprise me if we do surpass 40. So we'll see how things go. Like, at some point we're going to get kick drops again, aren't we? It really wouldn't surprise me if we see a kick garage door, like a general drop, if you know what I mean. So we'll see how things go, but yes, it's concerning in regards to we have far too many garage doors, there's far too many options that have appeared recently, and as time goes on, with it being expected that we see more and more and more garage door, well, I can't help but assume it might get lost in a shuffle, especially with about 30,000 subscribers. That is quite a lot. So, okay, fair enough. Perhaps we're better off with a buy order, and we should point out, no issues this week in regards to like abnormals and whatnot. We will have abnormals. But the Pirate Tactical Gloves. part of the pirate collection. And, well, if you don't fully remember, or if you weren't around back then, when the pirate collection initially came out, started off as a primitive set, successfully like got a full set there. But then we dabbled into like the core pieces. So tier 3, hoodie and pants, tier 2. On average, they've done between 40 to 50,000 subscribers. What? Yes, that's ridiculous. Yes. But let's also point out, when the pirate road sign gloves came out, a little bit later, like a month, only like a month after like tier 2, that did about 30,000 subscribers and it tripled in price. Now, with all due respect, it's had a good 2.5 years to slowly rise up in price with all the other skins, right? But they've always been in demand. And with the naval update just around the corner, it's kind of expected now that a lot of people are jumping onto these. Wow, I didn't even notice. $3 for the hoodie? I did not notice it was that price. I'm surprised. Whoa, okay. Oh, so that's what everybody was talking about. So do you see what I mean? Suddenly everybody wants to buy the pirate theme skins. But it's a bit odd because, like, how do I explain this? If you actually look at the pirate, like, clothing and armour, it's just like the pirate flag draped all over it. It's not like an actual aesthetically pleasing sort of pirate set, if you know what I mean. Not to say I mean. It looks good in the deplorables. I'll say that. Have you seen the pirate bed? But oh wow. So I still own quite a lot of these now. I might be selling a little bit more. We'll see. But yeah, look at that bed. $6 plus. So anyway, I just can't help but assume the tactical gloves are just going to perfectly slot itself in and instantly do a very good job retaining its value. And as time goes on, so as long as this whole collection remains in demand, which at the moment kind of wouldn't surprise me, I will not be surprised in the slightest if that actually just goes in a positive very comfortably and very easily. 30,000 plus subscribers wouldn't surprise me. Will it hold its value? Wouldn't surprise me. Yes, of course, we are still expecting around March and April time, when quite a lot of people kind of disappear for a bit. We are expecting prices to drop off. But then after that, the summertime, do you think Pirate Collection will suffer that much? Do you think it will flourish as well in the summertime? Because I know we have the naval update, but do you think they might add like quite a lot of interesting content in the ocean sort of areas? Do you reckon they might add extra areas in the ocean? So like considering they've added so much to like the water and whatnot with the boats and whatnot, what do you reckon? Because you might see the pirate clothing and, well, all the armour and whatnot still like being in demand as time goes on and slowly going up in price more and more and more and more and more. For a very long time, this was simply appreciated as a black alternative option, and that would have still been very good for the tactical gloves. In fact, they're the first ever black tactical gloves we've ever seen. But I wouldn't surprise, like, it really wouldn't surprise me if we do see some more eventually in the future. But you've got a lot going for you, and you're going to easily sell less compared to all of that. Very likely selling similar to this, and end up very similar to this as well. So, yes, that's in a very, 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 very good spot. So, both of these, 28 to 33,000 subscribers. Sorry, I looked at the numbers there. Black Ops Tier 3 armour. So, of course, we've already pointed out that the metal face mask already has a lot more. And this is always a bit of a funny thing. Quite a lot of people don't fully understand why I always reference subscriber count. Subscriber count is always correct. It's the amount of people that have bought the skin, the individuals. This is why I always refer to it as like the bare minimum sales. So what we can do right now is we can hop over to the face mask. Now, as you can see right here, 17,396. That means 17,396 people have bought this skin. But how many have they bought each? Well, that's something that HMLMG can only like try to guess, all right? Now, let's just point out, when you click the actual picture, you can see who's bought the skin if they allow themselves to be seen by HMLMG. A lot of like accounts can easily say, don't look at me. And they'll be like, all right, fair enough. I will respect your wishes. So, based on what we can see, someone did buy tons of them. But here's the thing. They're sold at 25 cents. Now, listen, I'm going to only really talk about this based on 25 cents. If you're thinking about buying that at $1.49, I wouldn't do it, but by all means, if you're going to buy it because you like it and you want to support the skin creator, all right, fair enough. You do as you wish. I'm not going to be upset with you, but don't try and invest into this at $1.49. I'll just sit here and say you've missed out, basically. I'm sorry to say, but you get the idea. What's the price of cloth? Why are we talking about cloth? The reason why is because you can break that down into cloth. I can't confirm to you, price of cloth right now is 17 cents. Now, if you wanted to get a quick sale, it would be 16 cents. Consider tax, that'd be 14 to 15 cents. And those masks, well, they cost 25 cents each. So if you do the math, worst case scenario, it can honestly only go down by about 10 cents. So worst case scenario, you'd probably only lose about what, like 40% of what you put in? Now, I'm just going to ask you very nicely, and by all means, you don't have to, you don't have to comment below, but like, if you did buy a bunch of these at 25 cents, how much did you buy? Would you be upset if we saw like 5,000 of these on the Steam market, but they're like hard stuck at like 25 cents? Because I did we even spend that much? In total, I spent $50. Yep, because I bought 200. I just sold some other skins because it's still post-Christmas, and it filled it back up. I'm not sure if you're the same, but I'm sorry to say, if you did buy them during that 10-minute period of time, time's up. It's too late now. You only have 48 hours to make a refund, and well, as I'm recording this, we have passed that now. So I guess we're in it for the long haul. But it's not over, because of course, how successful has the Black Ops collection been? We take one quick look over to here, and what do we see? It might take a while because HMLMG's a little bit slow at the moment. There you go. We see some very interesting weapon skins that have been accepted over throughout all of 2025. We saw the AK-47, the SAR, the revolver, the rocket launcher. I said the rocket launcher. The jackhammer, the Python, the bow, the LR300, and recently the Black Ops bed, which is now sitting there at $6. So yeah, this has been a success, a very nice, awesome, successful collection. Lots of weapons. Started to dabble into deplorables. We're now also dabbling into clothing armor. I ask you, like honestly, do you believe we won't see a full collection of clothing armor for Black Ops? Come on now. I'm fully expecting it. Tier 2, hoodie and pants, boots and gloves, a jacket, you name it, I'm expecting all of it. So what usually happens when we see more core pieces being accepted? The pre-existing core pieces spike in demand, spike in price ever so nice. So yeah, maybe that suffers for a while. Again, we're not going to be expecting any collection continuations perhaps for like a month. But what happens, you know, after a month has happened? Oh, look at that. Suddenly I'm seeing Black Ops Tier 2. I'm seeing hoodie and pants. I'm expecting it, and I'm expecting it to be accepted. So I'm not feeling that bad. I can easily sit on my 200, just leave it be, see what happens. I don't feel bad if it starts to suffer real bad, because of course, you know, worst case scenario, I can just turn it to cloth, sell the cloth. Or I just sit in it, waiting it forever. I think we're good. I haven't even focused talking about the chest plate. Chest plate's just A-okay. Chest plate's just fine. But we should agree that worst case scenario, you might see something like this, because if we're not going to see Tier 2 hoodie and pants until about March, maybe April, it is expected that there'll be less people playing around then. And chances are they will sell less in comparison to the face mask and the chest plate. Not surprising with the face mask, but let's just quickly show you this. I showed this off in my predictions video, I'll show it again. When the Abyss collection first came out, in regards to clothing and armor, the Tier 3 came out, it did a lot of sales, 27,000 subscribers each. But then the Tier 2, the hoodie and pants, altogether, on average, it did between like 14 to 16,000 subscribers. 10,000 less compared to Tier 3. So, of course, the Tier 3 armor, it suffered. But the other pieces, they did A-okay, because people wanted the set. People liked the Abyss collection. So, what eventually happened was, even though these sold a ridiculous amount, and with them like having like an extra 100 or 200 listings compared to all the other skins, eventually as time went on, the price still did slowly go up in price. Like, let's just show you the face mask, for example. Suffered real bad, but eventually it did get there. This recent post-Christmas, it did manage to get back up to its Rustore price. Didn't last for too long, but it did happen, and as time goes on from here, it's expected to surpass that and comfortably stay above it. It sold far too much in comparison to the rest of the clothing and armor, but it still got there in the end. Black Ops looks nice. Would you agree? You know, you can debate that if you want, but basically, as I said, it's a successful collection. I expect more acceptances. I expect more skins being made. I don't think it's going to be that bad. So, you could comment below and just say cope if you want, but no, I think I'm fine. I honestly think I'm A-okay. Now, for the guy who probably bought like 5,000 or more, all right, we'll see what happens, because, you know, is there enough people that actually want to buy them? Today, I'm going to introduce you a brand new cryptocurrency. It's going to... I'm joking, by the way. I'm joking. But metal face mask. Black Ops metal face mask, that is. Joking. Right, anyway, they could be our they could be like a form of currency, like in TF2 when they use like earbuds, keys, and whatnot. Right. I'm moving on. So yeah, honestly, let's do the abnormal barders. Both of them are abnormal, but with that, I don't know what to offer. I honestly don't know what to do. I might just leave it because I've already won. I've already got 200. We'll see how it goes. Oh yeah, what were we expecting? Come on, Hedge. Come on, what were we expecting in terms of subscribers? Okay, I'm so sorry. So basically, with both of them with around like 11 to 12,000 subscribers, I thought the best thing to compare to would be the No Mercy tactical gloves from the previous week, and that did slow down, didn't it? Let's just switch over to here, because with the previous week, as we got closer and closer towards the end of the 7-day tenure, this suddenly just got slower and slower. The sales just weren't there. But I did say 22 to 27,000 subscribers for this. And, well, I'm not expecting that many more sales with these, if you know what I mean. I think people might be thinking, you know what, we might be seeing a lot of sales and listings on the Steam market afterwards. I believe this will slow down. But for this, I'll still say 22 to 27,000 subscribers. Just remember, though, we do know for a fact there's probably an extra 15,000 of these out there compared to the subscriber count. Deep Ruby Furnace. So, let's go ahead and take a look at you. So come on over to here. I'm looking at you. Almost 9,000 subscribers. What do I want to compare to? I want to go quite a bit back. I want to look at that sheet metal double door right there. So this also had close to about 9,000 subscribers. Looking pretty sweet. Let's get a good look at you. Right, so that reached almost 20,000 subscribers. I think the furnace is most likely going to do between 18 to 21,000 subscribers. So, do you enjoy the Deep Ruby collection? Do you enjoy your Purple Haze furnace? Very nice, shiny, glow-in-the-dark design. It looks pretty. It looks nice. And I kind of roll with the expectation that Ynet, the skin creator, is probably going to consider doing some deplorables. I should sit here and see if anybody's asked. I can't read half of these things. I would expect perhaps like a door or some sort as at some point, surely, in the future. We'll see how it goes. But it has been a very successful 2025 collection, as you'll see here. That's more skin acceptances in comparison to Black Ops. Yes. Okay. So you might sit there and say you might not like it, fair enough, but people are still buying it and Facepunch is still accepting it. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. Deep Ruby bed? I guess it wouldn't surprise me. But honestly, Deep Ruby anything. Quite a lot of these skins are actually working out very nicely. So give it time. If it still holds up nicely, if we do eventually see tier 3 and all that, I mean, hey, I won't be complaining. But I will point out furnaces tend to be not very nice investments. They tend to drop off pretty badly. We've been down this road many times, haven't we? So as you'll see over to here, eventually, there you go. Last year's skins, only one's currently in the positive. Scroll. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Quite a few more in comparison to a lot more skins here, but the majority are in the negative. Will it be one of the very special ones that actually manages to retain value, or will it just go down in price and not be a very nice investment? Offer your opinions. Let's see what happens. Hellcore MP5. So I've just uploaded a very nice comparison between both this and the Heatseeker MP5. And honestly, both of them are in a very interesting spot because, well, both of them are basically selling for the same price. As you see over to here, right now, this is selling for about $4. In fact, let's just confirm it. I don't have my extensions turned on. I do apologise. Sorry about that. Right, let's go over to here, and we should be on. So, I do believe you are $4. Let's prove it. Almost. Yeah, we're almost there. Almost there. But, yeah, this is cheaper. Cheaper than the Hellcore. So, I guess with that still being out, and perhaps with that having better transparency, again, what do you prefer? I guess people would much rather just use that instead. But let's also point out that did have 65,000 subscribers, and I'm led to believe it has over 100,000 in circulation. With what we have over to here, let's point out it's been 4 in a row with the Hellcore collection. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's been successful, and it's very nice to see. But of course, we're not going to see a collection continuation being made over the course of this weekend and next weekend for quite some time. We're not going to see anything Hellcore. But what if I had to sit here and say, would you like the idea of a Hellcore SKS with a transparent aim sight? Ooh, So we'll see what happens next, but we've got like the Python, Thompson. Oh, it is Thompson. Yeah, he said he was going to do a Thompson. I remember, I looked. There you go. He says it just round over to here somewhere. Bro, Tommy is almost ready. Yeah, he's going to do it. He shouldn't be submitting it this weekend. Delarai, what are you doing? I might need to message him. All right, anyway. So we'll see what happens, but that is not going to sell 65,000 subscribers. No, 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 no. If I had to do a quick comparison, let's just take a look. Because with the first 24 hours of sales, you only did about 8,000 subscribers. And I thought, you know what? I want to go back over to here. Yep, let's go do a nice comparison with the volcanic rug. Because as we can see over to here, that only did about almost 18,000 subscribers. Almost. So if I were to kind of get a good sort of range, I believe the MP5 is going to do between 17 to 20,000 subscribers. I get the feeling a lot of people are going to jump onto it at the very last second. It wouldn't surprise me. So, okay, all right. We'll see how it goes. Like I said, if we do see more continuations being accepted eventually, I do believe that will be working out quite all right. But priced at $4, oof, might be a little bit hard for it to retain its value. Smart buy order, right, well, maybe we'll do that because, of course, that is also abnormal. We could do the abnormal buy orders next week. We can see how it goes. Black Diamond Backpack and Ultramarine Bed. Both of these sold a very similar number. No. I was meant to do bed and handmade LMG. Right, so just the backpack. After last week, seeing that black gold, lovely looking backpack sell a very decent amount, like not too ridiculous, a very decent amount. We now have Black Diamond sitting here, priced at, what, $3? Yeah, a higher price, yes. I will sit here and say Black Diamond Collection is doing very good. People appreciate it. The majority of the skins here are in the positive. Now we have a backpack, and the first thing I questioned was it going to sell as much as the hoodie pants, the tier 2, the tier 3? Well, the most likely outcome is it looks like it's going to sell less. But it does look like it'll sell more compared to the roadside gloves and the boots. It should still be fine. But of course, what we're going to compare to, what do we want to see? So with this backpack right here, I thought, you know what, the best thing we could probably compare to is if we just go back to the previous week, right? I just want to look at like the Thunder Gold Thompson, Glacial Visage Armored Door, the Odyssey Combat Knife, maybe even the Gold Chains AK-47, something like that. So let's go ahead and do just that. Let's go to the previous week. Let's see how everything turned out here. 16,500, 16,000, 15, okay, so about 15 to 17, I guess you could say. Well, I get the feeling more people might jump onto this. So I'm going with the backpack, potentially selling around 16 to 18,000 subscribers. That is what I'm expecting. So we'll see how it goes, but it wouldn't surprise me as time goes on. It might dip a fair bit as we go through March and April. Fair enough. But if you're looking like more specifically in the long term, I do believe that will work out quite nicely. It wouldn't surprise me if it does slowly rise up a fair bit and just comfortably stays in the positive when it's like the summertime, for example, or again, post-Christmas next year. So, okay, with only 16 to 18,000 subscribers, that's not too ridiculous. But I will point out, when I first saw it, I hope maybe it could end up like the Reptile Hunter large backpack, where it didn't really sell anything at all. Well, no, this is looking like it's going to sell twice the amount. So no, it does look like it's going to sell quite a bit. Now I'll talk about the Ultramarine Bed and Training Handmade LMG. So over to here, I can't confirm initially. Well, the sales, quite ridiculous to see. Only 5,000 for the bed and around 5,000, just a little bit more for the Handmade LMG. So if we were to do a nice comparison, I believe the previous week with the Dragonhorn sleeper bag and the Void Venom combat knife, I thought that might be a good comparison. So let's go back to the previous week once more. And I can confirm to you this reached 12,500, this reached 11,500. So if I could just switch over to here, look at the current sales, I will sit here and say I'm led to believe that these skins are likely to do between 11 to 13,000 subscribers. Now, I'm not surprised that the bed isn't selling too much. Because how many beds have we seen ever since they first became available as a brand new skinnable? We've seen a ridiculous amount. Out of 4 rusters this year, we have seen 3 already. And as you'll notice, those recent ones are starting to go down in price. Much like how things rolled out with the garage door last year, as we kept seeing more and 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 more of them being accepted. Lo and behold, at one point every single garage door was down in price. That's how bad it was. So as I look at this right now, I do worry for it, but I kind of get the feeling at worst that it might just retain its value. I think the Ultramarine Bed might be like the dark horse investment of this week, because you are not selling that much. Have we been in this position before? Yes, we have, because in the past, I just looked at the Ultramarine collection and I saw for myself, wow, all of that's in the green. That is all doing very, 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 very nicely. Now, over the past year, when times were bad, the majority of these skins, they are doing good. They are doing very, very nicely. And well, last year I looked at this locker, I noticed it didn't sell that much, and I questioned what might happen next. And I went with the belief that this was going to be a-okay. It looked like a great thing to potentially jump onto, but at the very least, a very good buy order. Well, as you'll notice right now, it's sitting here with a very comfortable price of $3.50, and I do believe it has been a little bit higher as well. Let's just quickly confirm that. Yep, very recently it was selling for much more than that. Well, I mean, to a point, like over $4, close to $4.50, which, judging by the amount of listings, yeah, you wouldn't be too surprised to hear that, would you? So, yeah, Ultramarine collection, reliable, in demand, appreciated, demand, good, yes. To see that only potentially doing between 11 to 13,000 subscribers, I get the feeling I might have to do a very good buy order. Maybe if you consider like approaching it with a buy, like an actual purchase. Because with what you see here, do you have faith in Ultramarine? What do you reckon? Well, from here and now, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if we see some more deplorables being made. Whilst weapons have been tried for, none of them have been accepted. So maybe you'll try and do that again. We shall see. We shall see. But yeah, I do believe that could work out very nicely. 11 to 13,000 really isn't that much. I know we're very likely to see a lot more bids, but I do expect that to be one of the good ones. Unfortunately for the training handmade LMG, nothing wrong with its design. It's a-okay other than the aim sight. I'm sorry to say, but yeah, it's got a standard aim sight. Now, with that currently sitting here on the Steam Rust store at $2.49, it's not too far off from the Blackout handmade LMG. Blackout handmade, you should have typed in handmade LMG. Oh, it's right there. Good. Okay. This is basically just sitting at around and just under $3. As you'll see right there, yeah. So it was dipping somewhat recently. Looks like someone made a move and bought out a chunk of them. Yeah, it's starting to rise back up again. Are you rising up for a good reason? I'm not sure, but I guess it just couldn't go that much lower. All right, anyway. So basically, this was getting cheap at one point, very close to about $2.50, which of course is the price that we see here for the training handmade LMG. And that has a transparent aim sight. Also, it's a blackout weapon. People appreciate blackout skins, all right? So, yeah, if that's struggling, what do you expect for something like that? Well, with about, what, 11 to 13,000 subscribers, I still think that's quite a decent amount. It's not like a ridiculously low amount, and we've had transparent aim sight Christmas skins coming out fairly recently, which sold significantly less. I worry for that. I do believe it will be struggling. Sorry to say, that very likely will be a 60 cent to 80 cent bar today. And then with the final two weapons here, again, predictions video, rust rotation video, I didn't have that much faith in these. I definitely said 60 cents to 80 cents for both of them. Well, at the very least, can we find out how much it's likely to sell? Because, of course, with the first 24 hours of sales, they didn't sell that much. 2,800 and 3,500. Well, I thought, you know what? Perhaps the best thing we could probably compare to is the Temple Bed and the Oasis Locker. So, let's go ahead and get a look at them. So, that ended up with 5,500 subscribers. This ended up with just over 7,000 subscribers. So, 5 to 7,000 subscribers, okay. We hop back over to here, we look at them, but honestly, with another combat knife expected next week, and potentially with a lot more sap skins to be expected. Like, let's just take a look. We just recently had the Fort Sap. That's already gone down in price. Last year's skins, we had some interesting designs. Most of them down in price. They used to be reliable. They used to be appreciated. And apparently, not anymore. So, I wouldn't be surprised with a design like that. Again, I've got nothing against it. It's an asteroid theme. I respect what he's done. I don't think people are going to be clamoring for that. And with the sales at the moment, are we surprised? No, not really. Yeah, that's most likely to do about 5,000, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, being realistic with you, with the current state of sap skins at the moment and whatnot, it's just not looking good. It's just not looking good. So, yeah, both of them 60 cents to 80 cents. I've got nothing against the designs. It's just I have to care about what other people are going to care about. And I'm not sure if they're going to care about them enough. Now, eventually, if we do see like weapon collections being made and whatnot, because I do believe Cow Meowie could turn that into a very interesting set, like a salvage sword, long sword. It's up to you, good sir. I think you can pull something off ever so nicely. And yeah, over to here with the that you could do a whole bunch of weapons with that style and whatnot. It could be done, but independently, I worry for them. So yeah, that's it. Now, just to remind all of you, if you want to scroll down and look in the description with all the chapters, with all the skins here, I do add the estimates in regards to how much I think they're going to sell. So if you ever forget, just look in the description. It's always there. We'll see how everything progresses, but yeah, the abnormals this week, it's going to be very, very interesting. Now, the abnormals last week, well, they were non-existent. Today, I uploaded a video showcasing the actual barders, the delayed abnormal barders, and, well, yeah, it is what it is. So, with that hectic, with the hectic night that we had the rust rotation, right? The rust rotated late. It got delayed about 10 to 15 minutes, and about 10 minutes after that, I had to do the delayed barders. Because instead of Wednesday night going to Thursday morning, because they rolled over to the next day, it was Thursday evening rolling into Friday morning, basically the night of the rust rotation. So we're just going wild, looking at that brand new rust door and then realising it was broken and whatnot, and all the stupid things happened. And then we had to do that. So if you want to see me a little bit flustered, feel free to go ahead and watch that. But also, as I mentioned, I made a short video discussing the situation with the Black Ops face mask, and I have a nice comparison between the Hellcore and the Heatseeker MP5. So it's up to you. It's up to you. But now, something's happened which is getting me a little bit worried. And you might sit there and say, what's wrong, Hedge? Should have said something a little bit earlier. As we hop over to here, you can see I've posted the short video showcasing the face mask, but I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about this. Apparently, and it just might be a troll, it just might be a trick, we'll see, but apparently someone actually managed to buy the training SKS. Now, as I said, like for a very brief period of time, and we could not visually see it on the Steam, like the actual Rust store, right? Now, if I go to here real quickly, I'll just show I mean. So when I do this and look at the Rust store, ta-da, there's the Rust store on the browser, right? I can see all the skins. We couldn't see anything, it was blank. If you're there in the rust rotation, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But you know when it rotates, and for a while there's nothing there, that's what we saw. And yet somehow, and it kind of wouldn't surprise me, I've always had the belief that some people can like scrape. When something's changed, they might have like a bot that just automatically buys skins for them. How did you get that? Now, I should also point out, he was responding to something I actually posted before, which was indicating that, well, somehow, some way, the SKS, the training SKS, it had free subscribers. Now, some people will sit there and say, can't you like manually subscribe? Yes, but the only method I'm aware of is if you actually own the skin. See, when you buy straight from the Rust store, you automatically become a subscriber. If you buy a skin from the Steam market, you don't become a subscriber. But if you own it, you can subscribe to it. There's probably another way, true, but is this a trick? You tell me, what do you reckon? This guy wants to buy it for $100. Mr. Mercy, if you're watching the video right now, you don't have to, because that is expected to appear for February Force White. Facepunch have said it. Well, through TGG, in his own server, the official Rust skin making Discord server. So, don't fall for that. It's an egg suit situation. It will be cheap because it'll be in the Rust store soon, alright? Don't buy it, leave it. You can do a bargain it, potentially. So, if I'm the guy that owns it, just chuck it up for $50. Have at it. But if that guy's genuine, all right, go on, try and sell it. But yeah, don't be too silly, all right? Okay? So for you, the Ruskin enjoyer, the investor, just do a bargain it and leave it be. What price are we going to offer? I don't know. It's a brand new skinnable, though. So you would expect it to sell a ridiculous amount, right? Yeah. So that might be a bit iffy. So if we were to, like, hazard a guess, maybe just offer like $1. What, really? Well, basically, we don't know what price they're going to list it for, do we? Wouldn't surprise me if they try and list it for at least $2.49. $3? Probably $3. Imagine if they did it for $5. But a $1 barter you can't go wrong with. So, okay, cool. We'll leave it. We'll see how it goes. And we'll discuss that when we do the abnormal barters, right? Judging by the naming convention, it's not going to be too hard to figure out how to get the link for it and do a barter for it. So we'll see how it goes, all right? Cool. So, let's now move on. So, over to here. Ta-da! we know who's getting a Twitch drop. And I know one of the Twitch drops. So basically, congratulations to all these people. I told you I wasn't one of them. But the Twitch drops are happening between February 5th to the 15th. And I do happen to know who already has one. Or rather, I do know what one looks like. Sorry. So let's just switch back over to here. Scroll. No, we're back. Are you lost? Yes, I'm always lost. I don't know who I am. I don't know where I am. Scroll. There you go. Alpacita, they have an awesome looking backpack. So, yep, say hello to their cute little alpaca backpack. It's cute. It's wonderful. And I think we've got a whole bunch more comments now. So, yay. So, yeah, looks like these people are going to be very happy now that they're going to finally get it. And soon enough, we'll find out what all the other Twitch drops are going to be. And we'll find out who you have to watch specifically to get their skins, all right? So, congratulations. It's a lovely looking skin. Here's hoping I eventually get my one. If anything, I do need to tweak mine a little bit. Also, best luck to Clamor if he ever gets his added. So, cool. Anything else to add to that, Mr. Hedge? Not sure what else to sit here and say. I should probably point out the player count today, very good, 184,000. Like, the fact that we're still getting numbers like that, like 3 weeks after post-Christmas, it's doing good, and the average player count still, keeps rising. Like, this month will have above 120,000, right? Which is very, very good. I wasn't expecting it initially, especially without like the naval update and whatnot. But it's doing very good right now. Is February going to be better, or is it going to be like last year? Will people turn up for the naval update? Do you think it's going to be a massive success or not? We'll see how it goes. Right then, so that's that. And then of course commits, but basically everything that's basically kind of been like hinted at, revealed already. We already know what's going on, so yeah. Nothing new should be appearing anytime soon. So, right then. But now... Oh, wait, not here. I should just quickly showcase to you Valentine skins. There you go. I got a little bit lost there as well. But yes, we're starting to see a lot of red, pink, love hearts and whatnot. Oh, yes. It's Valentine skins. So, just to point this out to all of you, I'm not going to make a list, all right? Because this is for the official thing, the official list here, TGG's list. To not interfere or cause any issues, I won't be making my own list, but I will still make a video discussing like the collection continuations and showcasing in-demand skins. So yeah, I look forward to it, and I hope you do too. Now don't forget, the focused item of the month is the spinning wheel. So you might be seeing quite a lot of them as well. And I guess Lunar New Year theme one as well. You could probably do like a horse and showcase it running around in a Oh, you might be able to do that actually. We'll see. All right, anyway, so that's it. That's a wrap. So, thank you very much for watching the video. Feel free to comment your thoughts in regards to everything we discussed today. And, yeah, what are you personally feeling confident with? We'll see how it all goes. Catch you later. See you, goodbye.